So now we are going for our last but not least panel, and I'm proud to introduce a Spanish but in hard Croatian.
Yes.
So Marta Patricia Aparicio y Montesinos has been the founder and managing director of, is it Kimon?
Kimon Ventures.
Okay, Kimon Ventures since 2017, from where she invests in startups and scale-ups around the world. She is also co-founder and chairwoman of the Kimon Angels Business Angel Network in Zagreb. She holds an international master's degree from IESE Business School and is CFA Level 2 candidate. She has over 13 years of early stage equity experience as a portfolio supervisor, investment officer, analyst, advisor, evaluator, and mentor. Over 220 entrepreneurs mentored and 3,000 plus startup projects analyzed, which is impressive. From 2009 to 2011, she was general manager of IESE Business Angels Network and the Spanish Business Angel Network Association. Previously, she held a number of financial and general management positions in various multinationals. Her topic is on business development service, and she will hold it until 3:30. So Marta Patricia, the virtual floor is yours.
Well, first of all, I'm really grateful to have been invited here, but provided that I'm Spanish, you are taking my siesta out. So what I'm gonna do is to try to keep you all awake. I started with like really light colors, so you don't get sleep. It's really hot in Spain. But well, I mean, this is nothing compared with we are gonna go through in this session, okay? So I'm gonna try to keep it really dynamic. So let's start with the learning goals. I mean, this again, I want this session to be really as dynamic as possible. So I'm gonna like provoke you. I'm gonna ask you to go to internet and answer some questions for me so I can make it the best on your interest, okay? But well, let's say that the official learning goals are identifying and removing barriers to access into the market, also creating ways to empower women entrepreneurs, entrepreneurial skills from gender perspective, we are gonna talk about a little bit, coaching, mentoring, and creating your own network. Here we go. So thank you so much for participating. Again, 25 people out of 30 is great. I mean, it's statistically significant, as Radka would say. And these are great news, no? So, well, I think that we have talked a lot during these couple of days about skills, about like the whole ecosystem, policies, advocacy. We've been talking about access to finance, but please, let's not forget, no, that there's no company without an entrepreneur, no, and without an entrepreneur action. So that's very important, no, because sometimes, because we are like in our day-to-day, we forget who should be in the middle of the picture, no, and for me, it's really clear, no? Who should be in the middle of the picture is the entrepreneur. Okay, so, well, in 2013, after reviewing many slides about the entrepreneurial ecosystem, what I saw was that there were no women in the middle, no? So I wondered, like, why should this, normally the entrepreneurial ecosystem, let's say discipline has a lot to do with like Babson School, with other schools, but at the end of the day, there was no entrepreneur in the middle, not even women entrepreneur. So I decided to work with this slide. And here, in what I think it's very important is to, as I was telling you, to focus really on the entrepreneur. Don't get like exposed to all the noise that we have, and more than exposed, don't get distracted by this, and focus in terms of your network in the entrepreneur. And this is a bit the topic of the day, because it's I mean, it's really funny that we've been talking about STEAM, we have been talking about other skills, but nobody has talked about what we would say probably soft skills, right? Or about behaviors, or even about how do you know the entrepreneur, no? Or do you know how entrepreneurs make decisions? That's something that is really important, right? So with that, I would like to introduce you like two conceptual frameworks. One is effectuation and the other is the stereotype threat. Basically, we are gonna discover together how entrepreneurs take or make decisions, right? I think it's very important that we know how do they take decisions or make decisions, so we can at least try to influence or to generate triggers for them to go from the intention to be entrepreneurs to the action, or from the action to be entrepreneurs to more actions that will be conducive for them to grow. So in human decision making, of course, there are many like logics, and I would like to introduce the factual one, but the factual one goes always like in hand with the causal one, because somehow there's like a dichotomy, and it's really very easy to introduce effectuation through causation. Causation basically is been like in the air during like also these 2 days. It's normal, it's traditional, is what we have in the classic books of entrepreneurship, is something that it's also helping us with our day-to-day, because it's somehow it's linear. Okay, then we have effectuation, which is gonna like break all the let's say all what you've seen before if you don't know about it. And then we have other less rational logics. For example, we know in entrepreneurship that people with attention deficit disorder have or use another logic to take decisions that is basically moved by impulse. You would be amazed about all the people that are out there and that are entrepreneurs, very successful entrepreneurs, and that have ADHD. Bricolage is also another logic that I wanted just to highlight. Now, let's see. So as you can see, I mean, there's a dichotomy between causation and effectuation, but this doesn't mean that we are like that because we are using effectuation, we cannot use causation. Now I'm gonna go deeper in the logic, so you will see that it could happen simultaneously, it could overlap. And let's say when you are setting up or thinking about setting up your company, it's effectuation, it's going to be much more effective. But once you have the company like out and running, you will need causation also to, like, for example, to monitor the company, to see how everything is going. So let's keep looking at this. For example, in causation approach, as I was telling you, there's really a linearity, so I have a goal, and I have let's say I'm gonna look about, okay, so you have normally an opportunity recognition, you evaluate the opportunity before having identified this, and then you set up goals, the typical business plan approach, right? And then you see what are the resources that you need. And here is when we have the typical problem of getting funds, right? We have talked also about this couple of days about how hard it is to get funding. And it's super evident that getting funding is one of the highest barriers for entrepreneurs to survive and to make their companies growth. But keep in mind that this need of funding goes at the same level as need of skills, of basically entrepreneurial skills. So it's not only about money, but rather about smart money. Okay, so the factual approach starts with uncertainty. It's clear that when we are like thinking about setting up a company or launching a product, the uncertainty is really, tremendous. So what the factual approach says that is that under uncertainty, the causal, like trying to predict the future, is really inefficient. So what can we do instead? Well, what we can do is just to like look at ourselves, at our means, no, which would be who am I, what do I know, and whom do I know, and from there we can start like going to the future. But you don't even need to think about a clear goal, because the goals are going to happen in interaction with these people who you know, no, with the means, referring to your like the stakeholders, with partners, with even with help of friends or family. And then from here you are gonna, I mean, these means are gonna somehow retrofit, and you will get new means and new goals. So the whole thing about the effectual approach is that if you think this way, like if you take responsibility on your future, if you shape your future, you don't need to predict it, right? So I think that this is like a pretty cool approach to entrepreneurship. And please, I didn't say it, but I would really like that you interrupt me. So don't feel shy. I'm sure that Boris, our technician, is checking if somebody wants to talk or something, and please interrupt me, because I don't want this to be a monologue. To point out Sarasvati is the person who creates this logic, who start creating the logic. This logic has been developed like quite a lot. It has some similarities, maybe, for example, with the lean start approach. But basically, I like it because it breaks the traditional and classical rules that sometimes are really like not working. No? So here the point is like, if you have like, if you know how your entrepreneurs take decisions, you will be more prepared to support them, right? Perfect. So here you can see, the main difference between the causal thinking, and the, what we would say, the entrepreneurial thinking, So in the causal, you have these given means, which would be like, again, finance, skills, anything you can imagine. You're gonna need like, of course, employees. You're gonna need lawyers, anything you can imagine, to in this case, you would think about setting up your company. In entrepreneurial thinking, you would think, okay, what are my skills? Who I am? What do I have? Like, do I have capital? Do I have patents? You will see later. Like, means go really and at a wide scope. What can I do with who I am, with what I have, with the people I know? And then what I think it's the beauty of this logic is that it's not determined. I mean, you might end up like achieving another goal, or if you think about setting up a company, maybe you were thinking about setting up, I don't know, an ICT company, and you end up building a company that is more focused in marketing. So I really see the whole potential. And of course, I mean, everything that I'm showing you here today has really like evidence, quite a lot of evidence. And I'm sharing with you also the technical and scientific papers from these authors. Okay, the bricolage approach, I just wanted to show it to you. As you can see, I mean, there are many ways to approach like logical thinking, but as I was telling you, effectual logic for me seems to be like at least the coolest one. So effectuation, to go a little bit deeper on this, I would like to talk to you about like the core about effectuation, which is which are 5 principles, and then we would talk also about means. And now I go back to the conceptual frame. My idea is to like put these 2 concepts, effectuation and the stereotype thread, like in this whole learning objective, so you can identify them, and you can also see how can you use them in a, let's say, in a proactive way, no? So we will go through this with the principles because they are really illustrative. So bird in hand principle, okay? What this principle says basically is like, don't try to control what you cannot control. Look at yourself, as I was saying, no? Look at who you are, what you know, and who you know, and start from there. And this, again, is not only a theory, but it's been the practice for what Sarah Sarasvati, the like author of this and the creator of this theory, empirically got from expert entrepreneurs, from entrepreneurs who had like what we would call it today, like serial entrepreneurs, no? So that's what that's how she got these principles, no? From to listening to them and observing them, like in a think aloud protocol, to see how were they taking these complex decisions under high uncertainty. Okay, so sorry. We go back. Okay, then the affordable loss principle, no? That's really cool too, no? It says, I mean, normally when we think about setting up a company, again, no, I've heard a lot like, we need funds, right? We need money, that's clear. But I would just turn this in another way, no? Like how much I am ready to lose, no? Like it's not that I need 1 million to start up, because if I need 1 million, a lot of things are going to happen. And why are you that sure that you need 1 million if there's so much uncertainty that maybe you could start with much less, no? And this reminds me to the typical approach from the American people who start in a garage, no? So this I think it's it sets the condition, no, that you design and you design and decide to go to actions, okay? But at your conditions, I mean, not at any price. You just decide how are you gonna do. You basically are in the middle of this whole equation, as what we could see in the entrepreneurial ecosystem. Lemonade principle. I think that applies a lot to women entrepreneurs. And yeah, I know that it's not cool, like when things don't work in the way that we were expecting, but we need to accept that this is not a perfect world, right? And then I think that we have this capability to turn like really disasters into an opportunity or into something positive. This is what happens with expert entrepreneurs. You can think about many examples. For example, Häagen-Dazs, the typical cookie cream ice cream. Well, they had a problem because they have to deliver cookies and the cookies just broke. And they had the great idea to mix these cookies with ice cream, and look where are they now. So, I mean, I'm sure that you've been there, and I'm sure that you have overcome like contingencies like in a very good way. So contingencies are good because, again, no, you can get out value out of it, because they force you to be creative, and because they force you also to find new ways or new uses for the same product, right? These cookies, instead of just throwing them out, were used to make this ice cream. I find it really great. Okay, so sorry that I'm going backwards and forward. Patchwork quilt principle. It was originally called crazy quilt principle. Quilt is like well, do you know what's a quilt? It's a typical like a duvet, no? But it's made out of different patches. So here, I think this is key for today's session, and is this principle has to do with with how to identify partners. I'm sure that we can think about potential partners, right? But here what the principle says, and I think it's very illustrative, is that you need to focus on the partners that put some skin on the game, okay? So the partners who are gonna offer something, the partners who are gonna be committed, the partners who are gonna help you to co-create. And of course, collaboration is gonna be key for that, because maybe today you don't end up co-creating with your customers or suppliers or with other organizations, but it's clear that through collaboration, you are gonna generate trust, and commitment is gonna come with. Sorry. And finally, means, no? If I'm not wrong, yeah, means. So again, who am I, what I know, and whom I know. And I insist on this because, as we've seen in the learning objectives, there's a lot of
Marta, pilot in the plane.
Say,
where is the pilot?
Yeah, I'm no, it's here. Sorry. Yeah, I knew that I was missing one, but I couldn't find it. Yeah, I was piloting through this presentation. Sorry. The pilot in the plane principle. Thank you, Radka. It's really, I mean, that would be like the summary of all the principles, and it's, again, it makes emphasis in that you better control what you can control, or you are gonna lose your time. Instead of thinking about like competitors, think about what you can do, and think about what you can do differently. For example, shape your environment. And here is where I see the power of this. I mean, we've been discussing and we've been complaining about a reality that we will see later, no? Which is like women are still kind of residual but like in the whole society, right? In the entrepreneurial domain, in the research discipline. We were talking about this yesterday, and like in many ways in life in general, no? So, well, why don't we shape our environment? I think we are starting like going there with sessions like this one, right? And pilot your venture, no? Like you are the most precious, like, I wouldn't say asset in your company. I mean, you are human, and we don't have to forget that we are all humans. And okay, skills are good, but there's something else, right? In our like beauty as human beings. Now I can already go to this slide. This would describes a bit the factual process. As you can see, it's an iterative process. I mean, it doesn't happen only once. It's not static, it's dynamic. And as you see, it can be like retrofitting like each of the categories that we were talking about. No, I find it really powerful. When we talk about who we are, what we know, and whom we know, it's not only about these skills, or it's not only about like a pure identity thing, no? It goes really beyond. And this is a way, I mean, I'm gonna leave it here because we will see later through the session, how can we go and how can we use these means for our purposes, no? And in the right, let's say, or for our own benefit, I would say better. Okay. But let's see some of them. So who I am, as I was telling you, no, it has to do with capital. Like, it's not the same if you are, honestly, if you are wealthy or not. It doesn't mean that it's your whole identity. But here, when we talk about identity, we can distinguish between your identity as a manager or as an entrepreneur, and also the identity of the company that you are creating, okay? So you can see also different capabilities. You can see also research and development, or patents, or what's your propensity about risk-taking. Even we can talk about self-efficacy. Here I would like to make a mention, and it's because there was a very interesting paper that was talking about basically about the means, all the literature that we have about effectuation, and the authors were really pointing out that they think that the means that are really effective when you are setting up a company have to do with this focus on the venture. No, for example, they were considering like the up to risk taking, but then tolerance to ambiguity, personality, or self-efficacy for them seem irrelevant. I think that the logic is still like young to receive these different, let's say, critics, but I would like you to show what's out there. So it's up to you. I mean, who you are, you know better than anybody else. Okay, very important, no? Identity is going to allow us construct and manage our preferences, no? When these preferences doesn't exist. Because, for example, if we are under uncertainty, it's gonna, as you were mentioning in your questions, no? It's how can we choose, no? Everything is so like uncertain. But then and this is about your own identity. I mean, your values and who you are and your personality is gonna shape these decisions. It's gonna help you manage these preferences and going to a path or to another. Okay, for example, and when we talk about startup, I could, if I didn't have any values, or let's say in a better way, if I had different values, I could set up a company that is based on drug dealing, right? And this would be my preference, or I could think about my identity or things that I can do that are not, let's say, legal. This would show who I am and my values and my beliefs. But if I'm let's say, if I'm a person who has other beliefs and who likes to be in harmony with the society, of course, this type of preference would never be like as a potential choice. So what I know, again, we really focus a lot in like entrepreneurial experience, in partner experience, in esteem, but we forget about our personality. We forget about other soft skills, which are, as you are gonna see, these soft skills are gonna be really important when handling barriers, for example, to enter into the market. What else? Who I know? Well, it's clear there's something called like the I think it was like the kitchen effect. No, it means that when your parents are entrepreneurs, you end up having dinner with your parents and with their companies, right? So there's an effect. You really you can breathe entrepreneurship home, and probably you will have the tendency to be entrepreneur too. No? Also, friends in the business, it's not the same to start up a business alone than to start up a business with like people that you know. I mean, I've seen this in the last company I've invested in Croatia. No, a friend of a friend is in the legal office of or is working in like in a legal buffet, and they can help us with this. Another friend knows somebody else who can introduce us. So this is really, it's very powerful, know who you know, and it's also really important, and it has to do, of course, with the question on like how to create, and I would say how to maintain your network, no, that you take care of your network of and that you create with them, and that you really spend time and listen to them. I think that would be really the message. Okay, so I wanted to show you tools, right? So this would be one. I would like to make a precision. No? We are talking here about the entrepreneurial intent scale. Why am I talking about intent? Well, in decision making, when we describe the entrepreneurial process, we start from, I mean, we can start from different ways, no, but I cannot put them in a 2.5 hours. So we start with a desire to be entrepreneur, no? Then we go to an intention, and finally we go to action. No? So when supporting with women entrepreneurs, basically at pre-seed and at seed stages, we need to understand what is going to trigger these women entrepreneurs or these potential women entrepreneurs to go from, we need to understand as organizations which are the triggers and also the impediments to go from intention to action. No? So I wanted to show you one of the tools that you could use. That, I mean, it's quite, I think it's quite illustrative, and I think it can also start inspiring potential entrepreneurs. No, also the entrepreneurial intent is really, you can see it very well measured in the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor. Just in case you are interested, you will see which are the measurements and how this happens. Some scholars are not very happy with the entrepreneurial intent, because you see that that there are different criteria, but I think that it's good to start having proxies about these things. No, what matters is that at least we have an idea about. Excellent. So, well, first of all, I'm really thrilled about all the comments that I've read. I'm very happy to have people from practically many different parts in the world, even from the States. This coming slides will talk also about the States, and yeah, I will try to make an effort to cover everything in about an hour. But please, again, just interrupt me whenever you feel like. Okay, so we talk about effectuation, and now it's time to talk about the stereotype threat. As you can see, the stereotype threat is something, just to say, that threaten us. No, it's something that makes us feel really bad, and because we feel bad, and in many cases we feel that we are not, let's say, part of a group. It's gonna influence in our performance, and of course in our let's say self-esteem, right? This has not only to do with entrepreneurs or women entrepreneurs. It has to do with African Americans, with Latinos, with poor people, with women in like STEM, as we were mentioning yesterday, or with elderly people. In any case, the stereotype threat is in the women entrepreneurial ecosystem. So my point here is just to leave it there. Like, this happens as an effectuation. This could be a contingency, but I'm sure and I trust that we all find ways to overcome this kind of, or this clear barrier, right? Okay, so for that I would like to talk about a paper. I'm going to talk really quick about this paper, because I think it's we really need to go to another paper that is showing these particular barriers. Okay, but well, as some of you might know, I was telling you, that my background is on finance, particularly in venture capital and angel investing. I've been there for more than 15 years. And now I'm studying a PhD, guess on what? Of course, on angel investing. And this paper came from the director of my thesis, Colin Mason. These three scholars have published an incredible paper, and it's great that they are men and that they are like really top scholars in the world, because they have a voice here. And I just wanted to bring you this voice through basically women angels skills that, as you know, a lot of women angels or angels in general, they have been already entrepreneurs. So I think that it could be like a different way to bring up like women entrepreneurs skills. Okay, so basically the paper is going to identify what we've seen all around these sessions too, no? That it's clear that the world is male dominated, the society is male dominated, the ecosystems, the entrepreneurial discipline, and this is something we cannot change, no? But I'm sure we can make great lemonade with that. So this would be an example. Let me see if I can just move this to my, I'm gonna do something really quick. Okay, so just, I mean, focus on the presentation. Don't look at me, because you will see that I'm looking like a bit like not at the camera, okay? For example, you can see here like women and men, and here you see the different characteristics. And what I wanted to point out is, for example, that women angels are younger. This is something that is very interesting in the Central and Eastern Europe, because women angels are not only younger, but are also like in proportion, they have a much higher proportion than in other countries. Okay, if I don't know if you see my pointer, but don't worry about the size of the.
Yes, we do.
Oh, that's excellent. Don't worry about the size of the samples. It's clear. I mean, it couldn't be different. There are more men than women, but the authors took the typical measures to make this comparable. And of course, in the case of some findings, you will see that these are statistically significant. Okay, as you can see, just in case that you had any doubt, you can see that women like have higher university degree level. So I mean, this is just to make also a hint into our self perceptions, that they don't have too much with their reality or with facts, right? As you can see, also there's a huge difference between the professional experience. We like finance, but also we have to say that men, as we've seen, no, have more like top level positions, right? The same with board members, with both board members' decisions. Okay. So if we go to different characteristics, you will see that you can see, no, that there are some differences in the states that we choose, or in the amount that we invest. But well, I mean, there's nothing like particularly. Syndicate investing is interesting because it means that men have more tendency to co-invest, and that's something that I think that we need to work a lot. Like again, it has to do with like being in the right networks and getting the right information, and to mingle with other individuals. No, I think this is a skill that we need to somehow to practice. RP protection, nothing. I just wanted to show you. I mean, it goes a bit out of the scope, but it's again, it's a proof that you can see here. There are woman-only groups of women angels, and then groups that have women and men angels, and you can see also here the differences. But nothing that raised my like red flag, no. Number of years investing, of course, they have more experience. but this is a classic, no? It happens the same with men entrepreneurs, no? More serial entrepreneurs. But again, we are now shaping the future, so we don't need to just get stuck in what we already know. We need to take action, right? And that's what's this session about, to take action, not to be aware about what we have out there, but then finally to take action. So what we can see, like for women angels, just in case you are interested, is that there's a dual population. You can see like noble women angels that are gonna live like this stereotype threat, and this is gonna affect their performance. And then you can see other women who are probably more self-confident or have more experience, and they feel a bit better like in a mixed business angel network, no? But again, this is like a minority, no? So what happens to us? We underestimate our capacity to make risk investments. I talk about women angels, but you can think about many other examples about how do we underestimate our capacity. I mean, I just gave you an example. I've been using a computer for many years, but when I'm under pressure, things don't work the way you want to work, right? So I think we need to really work hard on soft skills that has nothing to do with our real skills. It has to do with the way that we perceive threats. And I guess that in women entrepreneurs, we have more tendency to feel threatened by the environment, by situations, but our current personal situation, the family. And Radka was also saying, no, like, we feel that we really have a role in the society, and we want to be like in peace with everybody else. So this is going to generate us threats, right? Role models, we are going to talk about it. Super important. We need people to follow. We need people that show us that they broke these barriers and that they have succeeded really well. And as I was telling you, no. We need to start networking in another way. I think we get these 2 days have been a great example. We are networking, and some activities have forced us to network, right? Okay, so just to give you some hint, no, about what's going on, just for you to see that this is not happening only for women entrepreneurs. This happens also for women investors, because this is happening in the whole entrepreneurial ecosystem, right? So you can see that the market offerings for business angels networks are designed and delivered from men to men, and that's what happens, no? So something that came from Ivan is that, as they say, only confident women are prepared to join, no, all male networks. While I will say that some of us, we still need to have our skin thicker, right? But I'm super confident that this is going to happen. So at the end, what is very important is to understand that the environment is going to help us to also to perform in different ways. If we feel threatened by the environment, it's clear that we are not going to perform. We are going to underperform. That's why effectuation is so powerful, because in effectuation, we create our own environment, we create our own future. It's clear that in some cases we are different, like from men, in characteristics and behaviors. I'm gonna just skip this because I have many slides left. So implications, again, no, there are really identity consequences of this stereotype threat, and we need to be aware about that, and our entrepreneurs need to be aware, because otherwise they will feel like there's something wrong with them, because we also have this tendency, when something goes wrong, it's our fault. So the implications of this threat, that I can extend it to the women entrepreneurial ecosystem, it's gonna touch our self-perception, self-confidence. We sometimes will have the feeling that we don't belong to that environment, like when we are in contest, or you mentioned, no, when you want to raise funds, you just say, no way. I mean, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to say, how can I do it my way? No, because you don't want to be rejected, right? And of course, in terms of risk, this, as you are not going to have the chance to get information or to be in the networks that have like the information, you will have this more conservative attitude because you will face uncertainty at a higher level. But I've shown you how to go handle uncertainty, or how to go with it. So let me show you this report, because we always talk about the US, and it's really funny to see. I found this report is about 30 women entrepreneurs who have companies who have surpassed more than $5 million revenue. Well, basically the average of revenue of these companies is about 43 million revenues. And I wanted to share you what's going on in the US, because sometimes we really think that, sorry for our guests from the US, but I would like to hear from also from our guests what's the opinion about this. But things are going on all around the world. I mean, again, the world is male dominated so far. Okay.
You have a question. Ashrafunisa asks, I suppose the context and situation is different.
No, that's why I wanted to bring this, because we end up facing the same problems. And one of the exercises will tackle this context. So the question was really great and up to the point, no? So well, what we can see, no, is that the women entrepreneurs activity has raised more than 10% since 2014 in the US. You can see also that I mean, again, no, I'm going to the top economy to calm down here, but we are going to see that we share the same stereotypes and the same barriers, no? So just for you, I wanted to give you some data, no? Like 63 million women start a business, like in the whole world. 100 million women are running a business in the US. 30 million, which is 39% of private firms, is women-owned firms. And we are talking here about 1.9 trillion revenue sales, no? So this is the context for the next like experiences that these ladies are sharing, okay? So well, basically these women entrepreneurs are talking about market misperceptions, network exclusion, and managing expansion with underfunding. Look, going back to your question or about the context, I think that we've heard this also during these 2 days, so I don't see differences. I see, let's say, difference in the probably in the numbers. Let's say that, of course, there are much women entrepreneurs in the US, but at the end of the day, the structural problems are the same. So, for example, in market misperceptions, you have this comment, no? That this is, it's really funny, no? Because you are a woman, you are too young to start a business, or there's this misconception, no? Misperception from, of course, coming from men, no? That this is not a business per se, no? This is like a hobby, or you are just doing this to support your family, but mainly, I mean, we are not interesting. Just to make it really, like, to go up to the point, right? So this second statement is really funny, no? Because this lady, who is clear that knew quite a lot about the products that she was selling, she was still taking problems, no? Like not to be, like, she didn't have a voice, no? She was just like not taking into account. But if I would be smart, no, 100 million revenue, I think it's really stupid not to listen to an entrepreneur, no? And I wouldn't put any gender on this. When you find, or when you see a business opportunity, and I'm talking now about like angel investing or a potential investor, you have to be really stupid not to look at that, right? Okay, network exclusion. We've been talking also today about that, no? But these are comments also, like in this case, no, like from women to women, no? And it says that sometimes we have the tendency to congregate and not to mingle with other men. Again, no, if we have this stereotype like here close by, of course we don't want to be like uncomfortable. It's already uncomfortable to start like mingling with everybody, but it's even like we find it more threatened when the majority of the attendants are men, right? Well, that comment, I mean, I'll if you don't mind, I will go quick with these comments. You can just read them later when I send you the presentation, but it's so funny. I mean, it's unbelievable, no? so you may see how these women are underfunded, because all of these 30 women didn't go to, let's say, to VC or to other sort of traditional funding, but they found ways to get there, no, and to grow. And as they are saying, no, and as I was saying before, we have different ambitions. So we doesn't mean that our ambition is lower. Our ambition is more holistic. It has like a much bigger scope. For example, these people were also really very into the welfare of the employees that were working there, no? They wanted, you will see here, no? What they care is about who is working in their companies, and they wish these people like are gonna stay there for a long time because they feel they are okay, no? So it's this is more a sense of the right thing to do, but also of the smart thing to do, no? Because with like in this safe environment that women entrepreneurs are creating, you are gonna generating loyalty, and loyalty is priceless, right? Okay, so you can see now if we just go to these three barriers, no, you can start seeing what we've been talking about before, right? Underestimation of our capabilities and goals, or self-perception, self-efficacy, a clear male gender domination, no, the stereotype threat for sure. You see how women do differently, like bootstrapping, hiring and retaining employees, and basically building a strong culture, no? So I say chapeau. I don't know about you, but I mean, again, this is the best proof that we shape our future, right? Perfect. These are the advices that these women entrepreneurs are giving to other women entrepreneurs. So they ask about exploring different capital alternatives. So they are making clear lemonade. They build for the long run. They develop and keep talent people, no? I don't agree with buy from and fund women-owned businesses. I think that I mean, there are other ways to support women, and I think that, for example, the next one, like be a mentor, seek a mentor, is really, really important, no? Join or create networks. I think it's clear after these 2 days, and capitalize again on personal insights and experiences. So they are basically again effectual, no? So this is great. And of course, I just wanted to say, no, like to finish these advices, no, like, yes, we can, and yes, we care. So that's also a great difference, no, from women entrepreneur side.
From your experience, being a business angel and working in various business angel networks, how would you define these exit strategies? We had an interesting lecture. What would be when you enter into the company and you, I don't know, ask the percentage of the company or whatever? I'm not sure what's modus operandi when you are working.
Yes.
Is it always exit strategy selling, or
no,
your philosophy?
Not at all. No, I mean, the thing is that when we think about exits, and if you want, I mean, you have my slides here, so I can, I mean, if that's your question, I'm very happy to answer it. When we think about exit in angel investing, a lot of people think about an IPO, but you need to know that the IPO is the least like mechanism to get out of the companies for angel investors. Is the least, but is the most beneficial for the investor. What happens in Central and Eastern Europe, in general in Europe, is that like on the top we have the strategic sales. So I sell my business to another company. But you also have, like, for example, that if your company has VC fundings, so the whole company is sold to another VC company, let's say international, could be an international one. You can also get to the secondary market, but it's still, I mean, it's in doubt, but it happens. For example, again, no, in Europe we are quite a bit behind from the States, but NASDAQ works pretty well in the States. And for example, the second country that lists in the NASDAQ is Israel. So we don't need to create like secondary markets in every country. What else? Yeah, normally you can also have, and that's the one I wanted to talk about. You can do a management buyout, which is that I sell a stake of the company. I get it, for, let's say, 5 million from VCs, and after, let's say, 5 years, when the VC wants to exit, the whole managerial team buys back the shares. So you keep growing your company. That works pretty well, and it's usual. Like, I mean, it's not something to disregard. So that's all I always say, is that when you get funding from a VC or from an angel investor, just think that what the angel investor wants to do is to make money, well, among other, of course, and to get into another company. So here what I want to stress is that we don't want to be there forever. We just want to generate value with you. In the case of angel investors and VCs, but more angel investors, we are really hands-on. So we are going to be there for you. It doesn't mean that we are going to be micromanaging you, but we are going to be there when you need us, and we are going to help you open doors that you cannot open alone, or that they would cost you quite a lot. And yeah, this is something that you need to keep in mind. We are not dead forever, and if we all win from that. So yeah, don't be scared about getting angel investing, but yeah, again, choose the right partner, because these are long relationships that people think that it takes 3 years, but honestly, what we see in statistics is that it takes, I mean, talking about the whole industry in general, it could take between 7 and, for developing markets, to 12 years to get out of a company. So that's a long relationship.
Thank you.
So do you have more questions? They can be also about angel investing. I will be very happy to. that's my.
No, because I think it was also nice to hear your perspective, because you are also part of it. You have experience in it, and you know, it's always nice to basically get more perspective, because I think it's also important.
No, yeah, I mean, I was lucky enough to be like I was working in the States with a portfolio of more than 40 venture capital funds. So I could see this like amplified. And that's why I know about what's going on, no? And of course, I mean, that's my passion, along with my new passion, which is effectuation. So you can see here, like the learnings that we were mentioning before. Let's go for it. We can do it. And then I passed this exercise. We were talking about skills. We just have, yeah, some few more minutes. Well, you were, I mean, that's like the wrap up, right? Like how to empower women. We've been talking about during these hours, no? Like coaching, mentoring, help them to build and to strengthen self-awareness, of confidence, self-efficacy. If you don't have the skills, you have two things to do. You can just acquire them or partner with somebody who has the skills. So I also recommend you not to try to know about every single thing, because yeah, I mean, meanwhile, I mean, there's also an opportunity cost there, right? Tools. I wanted to show you this gender analytics. This I found it in Coursera. I think it's really cool to see what's going on in the world in terms of gender, and how like products, like I was telling yesterday, like even cars are made of for men. So women have like as what I heard from Sarah Kaplan, we have 47% likelihood to have more injuries in a car crashing because dummies are men. So you can extrapolate this to all the facets in our lives, and what I would like to ask you is like, please, let's make this happen. Let's change it. WeGate is a platform that it's starting shaping a new future for us all as women entrepreneurs, also women investors, and for the future generations. And yeah, I would really love you to take advantage of the platform and to start using these principles of effectuation and finding great partners. It's not about quantity, it's about quality. As we were saying, it's about commitments, it's about sharing the same values. And I would love to see that next year our community is much bigger, and I would love to see these different alliances and partnerships with the different organizations. I would love to see outcomes from family offices, from organizations that know more their entrepreneurs. And of course, I would like to see like an ecosystem that is articulated, where everybody talks to each other, and where the women entrepreneur is in the middle. And I would like to see ecosystems disappear, please. I don't like to see me's, like people who are in the picture, but who forget that the entrepreneur is in the middle of this whole engine. So to create your network, just use your principles, use the effectuational principles, experiment, co-create, discover. Don't confuse the organization failures with your personal failures, please. Don't take everything personally. I mean, come on. We need to start just putting distance. Like, not everything is our fault. The CO2 is not our fault. So please, let's start using energy also like in a positive way, mingle with people, collaborate. And yeah, as I was saying, don't forget who is in the middle of the entrepreneurial ecosystem.
This is it, dear ladies, and I think there were some gents. I'm not sure if they are here. Thank you so much for these wonderful 2 days. Thank you to all the lecturers. Thank you to all participants. Thank you, first of all, foremost, to organizers. You were wonderful. Technical help, our mothership, really worked brilliantly. You have been beaming us all over the world. You have been hovering around us, you know, invisibly, and we love you for it. So you really were above and beyond the call of duty. Okay. Thanks for having me as the moderator. And, you know, being an entrepreneur, I always say that entrepreneurship, you know, is a road to success paved with many failures. So just go, whatever you are doing, you know, go to your river, swim in your river. Many people, of course, are standing on the banks of your river and telling you how you should swim. Oh, you know, you hit yourself in the invisible rock in the river. Oh, this is, you know, this suits you right. We told you not to go there, okay? Why are you swimming in the river? So just tell them, oh, I will not be volcanically, you know how rude we are, so I will not curse, but just tell them, yeah, bite me, okay? I will do it my way. Yes, I'm a feminist, bite me, okay? As Amelie said, let's go and start working on, on basically solving the problems. And I'm saying, as I'm saying also to my students, because I also teach economics, you know, and I say to them that the most scarce resource in this world is actually not the money, it's the humanity. So remember, people, humanity is the most important thing. Nothing else matters. Everything else will come. Your jobs will come, entrepreneurship will come, money will come, networks will come, but we need to start treating each other as human beings. It doesn't matter anymore, okay? So humanity first, everything else will follow. Thank you. Thank you for these wonderful 2 days, and hope that we see each other soon. Use the WeGate platform, get active, and tune in for more events that they have prepared for you. Thank you so much for everything.